guys, this is the black truck. So today we're going to run through everything that is on this car that gets it going out bush. I'm Rowie and welcome to Rowie's Adventures. Alrighty, we're going to start with the lights. So the 470mm light force spotties on top are brilliant for driving at night. It's reducing the glare because of the yellow light. It's not so intense on your eyes and you're able to see up to 1 kilometre dependent on terrain. I find my eyes don't get as tired with the yellower light, the softer 50-watt light that they produce, compared to the whiter light of the ARB ones that came with the car. They are good, however I find them to be quite tiring when you're on the longer trips. Apart from that, we've got the factory headlights as well as the fog lights, all on the ARB Summit bar. So I'm running clear view mirrors, unpowered, and they are sensational. Going from the mirrors, we've got the tyres. So it's a 265 by 16, just an all-terrain. Underneath we got the lift, so it's a Old Man Emu 2-inch suspension lift. Overall a very comfortable ride. I've still got the springs in the back. Now these may not be they're definitely not a coil conversion or anything fancy, mostly because of the cost, but it rides smooth, it drives like a dream, and it's just an all-round brilliant car to drive on the long trips. We'll move up now to the awning. So this car has a Bush Company XT 270-degree awning. Now this awning appealed to me because of the strength and reliability. It's a fully freestanding awning. It's got the 4 brackets and they're never coming off. They are over-engineered and they are just brilliant. All I've done is put the bolt through the roof rack without scratching the paint, and then from there put the bolt through with a rubber grommet underneath to stop any vibration coming through, and the washer to secure it. So there's 4 mounts, 4 brackets I should say, that go onto the awning. From while I'm up here, we've got the max tracks for recovery and the rod tube for my fishing rods when I'm going out wide or traveling down south. All it is, piece of PVC pipe, got a bit fancy with the foam in there, and then only good for the rods. The reels will go into the back of the car. Now this is the back. There's a whole lot of stuff going on here. We'll start with the big one, the power distribution box. So at the front we've got our lights for left, rear and right, and they are just 2 work lights on each part of the vehicle, and they produce ample amounts of light. They setting up and packing up of campsites in the dark is no dramas. From there we move down to the dual USB charger and the fuse box. Now nothing too crazy when you start looking at other cars that have the whole red vision and red arc, all the expensive stuff. I had a budget and we stuck pretty closely to it. Now this is wired into 120 amp hour lithium. I'll get back to that in a sec. Moving down from the 12 volt system, the Victron battery monitor is brilliant. I just use it for the digital readout of the battery voltage, and so I can see if the battery's going well, if it's charging correctly, if anything's going wrong. But we're going to move down to the 240 volt. So everything is connected through the RCD, or residual current device. That will prevent me from getting electrocuted if something goes wrong. I've got 4 wall sockets that I can plug my fridge, freezer, or whatever I'm running that requires 240. Usually the drone, the fridges, and an aircon unit or something if we're out camping for long durations of time. I've got the input, which is a 15 amp caravan plug. You just bring it in through the window, feed it in through, plug it in, everything starts charging. In the box is a 20 amp AC charger that will charge the 120 amp hour lithium. Alrighty, into the box now. So we have our DC to DC 40 amp charger. This runs off of the cranking battery and feeds power into the 120 amp hour lithium. Up the back you'll see the 20 amp AC charger that I use when I'm using the caravan plug, and it's hooked up to mains power supply. In the back we've got all the wiring neatly sort of tucked away, all done by an electrician. The cable racks, the wiring, and the box was made by my father, who is an electrician. He did a sensational job and I'm super happy with it. So this one's the Canon cargo barrier soft luggage rack. Now up here I've got my 200 watt solar blanket that will go over my window when I'm stopped for an extended duration of time. A travel cushion for when the partner gets a little bit sleepy and Lucy wants a nap. The rack itself holds a few kilos, but I wouldn't recommend putting anything more than a few kilos in there. The other stuff up there is the battery charger and the extension leads to run any of the fridges, freezers, and to plug it into mains with the caravan plug. The light here is from Perth Diesel Performance. You've got the red for stopping bugs coming into the car or deterring bugs from coming into the car. You've got your white, which is super bright, lights up everything in the back here, and that is all wired into the 12 volt system. We've also got on a merit plug the light up top, so that when you're cooking, cleaning, whatever you're doing with the drop down table, it's all illuminated. It's as simple as undoing the two and you got yourself a drop down table for small items like a coffee or prepping food on the go, making sandwiches, whatever floats your boat. As simple as plug and play. Once you're done, all you have to do is put your two tabs back on and she's secured. Now moving on to the drawers and the fridge. The fridge is a Mike Coleman 60 litre fridge that has ample of room for two people. Now it's generally only myself and another person when we go away for a couple of days. If we go on with more people, I generally hook up the trailer and we have a second fridge freezer. In the drawers is first aid kit, recovery gear, the jet boil. This thing is worth its weight in gold. I've made many a brew on the side of the road and it takes 30 seconds. Sensational, and saves you spending 20 bucks at a bloody servo for something that tastes like trash, in my opinion. The water tank. All we have is a piece of surgical tubing onto a fitment. She plugs in, clips on, and all you have to do is just run the water. She's out of water at the moment, so she's just blowing bubbles. But once you're done unclipping, give him a tap if you want, and then just drop him back into the drawers. We'll move now over to the second drawer, which has all of our tie-down ratchet straps, a shave gear and toiletries roll, my air hose that runs off the compressor underneath the bonnet, and my vacuum sealer, as well as the tie-downs for the awning. Everything fits in here comfortably and without any stress. In this box is all the power leads and a pair of jumper leads for in case something happens and we need to jump the car. Never had to use them, but one of those things that you wish you had if you didn't have them. You guys might have noticed the solar screen. Massive difference. I can honestly say that having the fridge running in the back and parked in the shade, these things will keep the back cooler for longer, and it's very noticeable. I can't give you exact temperature differences and all that fancy stuff, but I notice a considerable difference with them on and with them off. Yeah, 10 out of 10 would recommend. For the sake of a couple of $100, these will save you draining your batteries by having the fridge work 10 times harder to keep it at that desired temperature. Moving now to the rear bar. So originally it had the two tires that come with the rear bar. We've cut just above the top, as seen there. We've put the piece of square tubing on top, MIG welded it on, and then from there we've just put the two TJM jerry holders bolted in using just hex head bolts. Very, very good system. The gas struts assist in keeping the wheels and the jerrys out of the way when you're on a bit of a lean or a bit of a gradient. We'll now move up to the bonnet. Alrighty, the power pack. This thing can tow a small mountain. I currently have no tune on this. This is running factory everything except for the dual battery, the DC to DC charger for the second battery, the catch can that was put in onto the bracket with the ARB underhood compressor. Everything else here is as you buy it. It's in the future there is plans to get a tune on it, but that's down the track. There's no need for one at the moment, and I'm happy to leave it stock. I'm getting roughly 11.3 to 11.9 litres per 100 kilometres on the highway. That's from Darwin to Mataranka and back as an average. The protective finishes. Now these were installed previously by the previous owner, and they are brilliant. It stops all the bad stuff from punching through into the radiator, as well as it's much easier to clean. There's I've never had any dramas with a lack of airflow. So the catch can runs down to the front, and just underneath the bull bar by the front steering rack, that's where the catch can empties out. All I do is just get a cup, place him underneath, turn the tap on, drain him, and that's every sort of 5,000 kilometers. There's usually about 100 odd milliliters of oil that comes out, and that's oil that hasn't gone and recirculated back in through your intake manifold and gummed up your engine. Now that's the biggest killer of diesels, is that oil vapor mixed in with diesel soot from the exhaust gas recirculation, and your intake manifold just ends up being just gummed up with all sorts of black diesel soot and oil. Isn't healthy for the engine, and saves you money in the long run by just installing that catch can. Now that was through Western Filters, and they're very reasonably priced. Alrighty, inside the cab. Above we've got the shelf, great storage for all my glasses, the Garmin 401, as well as just a small knife for, you know, just opening things, doing tasks, whatever you want to use your imagination. Coming down we've got the GME radio. This thing is brilliant. I cannot fault it. I am very happy with the way that they've done it. I do love the fact that everything is on the front. It's all tucked away just behind that panel, behind all the plastics. Out of sight, out of mind. It's connected into the spot using an RJ45 cable, and this comes in the kit. And if you're not using it, you can leave it unplugged. If you are using it, all you do, plug him in, he's good to go. From there, everything is running stock. The Perth Diesel Performance pillar pod with the VDO boost gauge and exhaust gas temperature gauge. These are brilliant. I'm able to monitor for when I get a tune if it's over boosting or going just haywire and going to cause any engine dramas down the track. Same as on the long trips, towing or going hard in full drive. I could monitor the exhaust gas temperature, because by the time she reaches about 550 degrees Celsius, that's when you're going to start overheating. Now, you'll notice it in the exhaust gas recirculation, then you'll notice it on the radiator, and then by the time that your engine temperature gauge is at hot, she's generally too late, because she'll be cooking under that hood. So very handy in just monitoring what's going on. I noticed there was no information on how to install a boost gauge for this Landcruiser 76 series or 70 series in general. So watch this space and I'll show you all how I did that one. In the center of the center console here, we've got the 12-litre fridge freezer from Snowmaster, sitting on a marine ply base with 2 cup holders, because the 70 series only comes with the one. I generally like a coffee while I'm driving, or a softie, or whatever floats me boat, but generally I do like it sitting here. So I've swapped out the old center console, and now I've put in the fridge freezer and the drinks holders. There's a bit of free space for a water bottle, or use your imagination, whatever you want to throw down there, but it all just works for me anyway. So everyone's different. If you like your cruiser how it is, leave it how it is. If you want to spend a small ransom on Department of Interior center console with the Bush Ranger fridge, fill your boots. But I had this fridge left over from my old four-wheel drive, and thought, why not use him? Black Duck seat covers. These are one of the best purchases I've made for this car. Constantly hopping in and out of the vehicle. I've got the reinforced pad on both sides, and these should last longer than but they are sensational. Cannot stress the importance of a good set of seat covers. These are waterproof. These are the heavy duty canvas. I'm constantly sweating my ringer out, especially up in the Northern Territory. This heat and humidity is intense, but being able to jump in and out of the car, not having to worry about the ramifications if I'm dragging mud, dirt, whatever I've been rolling into the car and onto the seats. These things are as simple as ripping off, hosing off, letting them dry, then just putting them back on the car if they get that heavily soiled. But I haven't had that drama yet, so watch this space and you might see. Alrighty guys, so I'm going to set up this awning for you so you can see exactly how long it takes. So let's go. And that's it. This XT awning by the Bush company has reinforced struts, trusses, so this thing can withstand some pretty hefty winds. I've installed some lights that will run through the Anderson plug in the back when I need them. You you will see a video of this car at night, so you can all gauge what the functionability of it all is. The lights illuminate everything under here. Now it's a catch-22, yes, you can see. However, the bugs up here in the Northern Territory are pretty vicious. They see the light and they just want a piece of it. So we generally don't run them for too long. We just do it so that we can see what we need to see, and then we pack it all up. So underneath, the Bush Company reckon that you get about 5 degrees difference just in the shade underneath the awning, and I would have to say that is pretty bang on what you're getting. Down in Katherine on a 40-degree day, it was very, very refreshing to have some shade instead of being out in the sun baking. All in all, very happy with it. This thing, we've done one trip down to Mataranka, so 1,000 and a bit kilometers round trip, and it's been brilliant. Never had any dramas with it. The car performed perfectly. All the equipment performed perfectly. I was just a goose and threw away a bag that I thought was rubbish, but turns out it was all of our bread. So my bad. So I'm going to now show you how easy it is to pack this thing up. Now, anywhere between 30 seconds to a minute, and then you're back on the road ready to rock and roll. So I'm going to put you back down, and you'll see firsthand how easy it is. And that's that. Quick, easy and efficient. That's what I went for with this car. That's why I got it. It's a lot of money for, well, just a brick really, but it goes. You can tow a small mountain and it will go anywhere I want to go for fishing, shooting and four-wheel drive. And so I think it was a smart investment for myself. It's in line with my hobbies, as you'll see in the coming videos. I hate to sit down behind a desk and just, you know, exist. This thing takes me out to the adventure and lets me do a mischief every now and then. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching another installment of Roey's Adventures. Till next time.